Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come. What day is it, everybody? What day is it? Oh yeah, it's Hump Day. Welcome to the Hump Day edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope you all had an amazing trading day yesterday, as we had one of those days where I use the Shakespearean phrase, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. It was one of those days where the market gave us a lot of movement, but it's pretty much all been wiped out here in the last few hours, as we're up 23 points this morning after a big down day yesterday. So if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you are a returning visitor of the channel, please feel free to give us a like. Those are much appreciated, and leave some comments down below. I love to hear the comments that y'all have about the trades that we identify. So S&P up 24 points this morning. Now, yesterday's level, we had the demand level off of this pivot right in here, and we did get a decent little move off of that demand level as it moved up to 29.23. We did have some basing here in front of the level, so my words were to be very cautious with the basing in front of this level, and we did get a move up to that basing. Actually pierced it just a little bit before then falling down through the zone. So if you caught that one, you caught a few points off of that area of demand, and then it fell later in the day. Now it fell later in the day, but in the overnight, we've just gotten a pretty big rally off of the most recent ECB news about the expansion. And so the ECB on the European market open, we had a big rally higher, came right to the supply area. Now, this supply area, I didn't originally have my lines wrapped around it, but we hit that level and came down very quickly. So I still have the area above as a potential supply zone. So we'll just be patient and wait to see if price does make it back into this region. As far as this area down here of demand, I don't really feel confident wrapping my lines around it because of the nature of the time of day that it was formed, and the fact that we're sitting in a 4-hour downward trend. I'm very hesitant on a 4-hour downward trend to wrap my lines around a Globex demand area that could just be a retest of a prior level. So I'm going to hold off on wrapping my lines around that area at this point. I'd rather be safe than sorry, and so I'm going to just leave the supply area in here for now. Looking at the Nasdaq, very much the same trade. We hit this level here, made our way back up, and then it fell through later in the day. So the demand level did work out for a few points. And so, but like I said, it's full of sound and fury, signifying nothing, because right now we're back kind of to where we started. Inside of this area of demand that we bounced off of, which was this one here. Getting below there, is that going to be a fair price value area in the future? Would be the next question. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of leave this area be. Another one that I don't want to try to put a demand area into play there. Now on a 4-hour, the 4-hour Nasdaq level, doesn't look as weak as the S&P, but it is still fairly weak overall. I would actually go so far as to say that if we look at the Russell, which is the one that on Sunday night I spoke about as if you're going to get weak, the Russell is the one to get weak with. We got a decent bounce yesterday on the RUT, so keep an eye on the RUT's level of supply here that has not yet been tested today. And I know I don't normally look at the RUT in the daily market commentary, but I wanted to bring that one up today. Keep an eye on that area in the RUT, as that one could be, where we do indeed get a decent reversal. As far as crude oil goes, so crude oil, we had talked about a potential breakdown below here if we got basing. Key was if we got basing. We didn't get any basing. We just popped right below it, which is why we popped right back above it. You don't just take breakouts without the rules, and the rules certainly did not give us that opportunity here. Same thing with this one here. We were looking for, do we get some more basing in front of it? And we got a little bit of a pop above. So if we see continued basing here, this actually might work for a decent breakout to the upside as long as we get continued basing. But right now, I don't have that. As a matter of fact, it's a better chance for a bit of a pullback. I like the potential for a crude oil long better than I like the potential for an equities long down at that lower level that where the 2 a.m. reversal kind of began, somewhere down in here. So if you want to try one, I think that would be potentially a better play. Would be along somewhere off of this region here. Next would be gold. So our gold level, we did have a nice little touch and go off of our gold level yesterday. So if you were able to catch that gold level, the wick over wick zone, we got a little touch and go off of that area for a nice little bounce. Now I need to take that level and I'm going to leave it in play, but I'm going to switch it to a confirmation entry as it is still valid. It's the fact that we hit it that one time. I do like this structure of this wick over wick that was created here recently. And so if we just pop into there, we may get another move down. And so there's a chance that this short will hit and then we'll just blow right through the long down below. But overall, in a 4 hour, we're kind of chopping sideways. So both of those are a little bit more suspect. So keep that in mind. In our bonds and currency markets, so our ZN, this is the one that hit a couple of days ago. I just didn't remove the lines. Let me take these lines off here, as that level has already been hit. Still potentially a valid area, but I'm gonna leave that one in play. But once again, sideways chopping market. Nothing for me to add into here at the moment. Inside of the Aussie. So in our Aussie position, we did get our confirmation entry. So price came into our confirmation entry. We've gotten a nice rally up and it's hit the target. So Aussie hit the confirmation entry, got a nice little move away. Let me know in the comment section down below if you caught that Aussie level. And now we've come back up to the area of supply. Not a huge fan of this basing here that we have before that area. The arrival here is not great. When you look at the arrival into this zone, this little bit of basing right here means that there's my risk, and we haven't quite even touched it yet. So we're not, we're still, we missed it by a tick, but there's my risk. That's a 1-to-1. There is a 2-to-1 on the reward to risk scale. Now that puts me lower than this area of demand, this fair price value area. So it's a little bit, lower probability with that basing there because it lowers it from a 2-to-1 to less than a 2-to-1. So for me, I'm going to remove it at this point. I think that it's slightly too risky, but it worked as a nice target for the long that we took. For the long that we had already in play. So what I am going to do is put a line here, as I think this could serve as a breakdown point if we get some more basing in front of that level. The euro, still have our basing area up here. These all of these wicks here are definitely this is a lot of selling pressure coming into play. Notice all the wicks near these highs. This tells me that there's a better chance that this thing's going to fall off. I just don't have a quality entry on it yet. In the Canadian dollar, we have rallied back up close to our entry in the Canadian dollar. Unfortunately, did not get the fill as of yet. Same thing here that we have with the Aussie. So I'm going to remove that one just out of safety. Great British Pound, Japanese Yen. So in our pound level, here in the overnight, we came up to our pound level, gave it a strong touch and go, and that level has really worked nicely for looks like about a 3-to-1 move. So if you caught that one, then you were very handsomely rewarded in the overnight session, and it's moving down nicely. At this point, take your stop, and I'd move it down to this 22.97 area. That way you lock in a little bit of profit, and you're still above the last most recent pivot. Japanese yen, no levels have been essentially formed or set up as of yet, but I like this area here for a potential reversal. So keep that area in mind for a reversal today. So looking at the market for the day, yesterday was doom and gloom. The markets are going to fall apart. Today we're up 25 points. So, in these markets, just trade your plan. Don't overreact to the news. It's not going to be worth it. Quick reminder about our free preview week, October 20th to the 25th. Go to tradersarmy.com, sign up for free, and join us in our free preview week. We look forward to having you there. Get a little sneak peek behind the curtain is what we do at Traders Army on a regular basis. So hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow if you guys want to join our live daily market commentary. We're going to do a live DMC tomorrow at noon. We're going to do a lunchtime live session, so feel free to join us on YouTube. I'll pin the comment down below, the link to join us in the comment section down below. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day.